Good morning, everyone. It is it's an honor to be here on the stage with, and I was just doing some math in my head, looking at this panel here. I think collectively there is over 100 years of experience amongst us in various aspects of anything to do with the front office, whether it's experience or acquiring customers, or really enabling our organizations to reach out to customers better. So a round of applause for this 100 years of experience, which is on the stage today. Hope the weight doesn't put too much pressure on the stage. I certainly hope, being one of them here. So my name is Vineet. I head marketing for SAP Customer Experience. I'm more from the marketing side of things, but this is a good opportunity for me to learn on the customer experience side of things as well, as to how various organizations look at it. I'm going to keep it very jargon-free. I heard the theme of this event. I caught a few words, but I don't remember something around cognitive maps and things like that. But we'll keep it simple. I think if customer is the king, we're going to keep it to the customer. And we will kickstart this discussion. So while there are quite a few things that are happening in the customer experience space, I want to kind of start off with some, let me call them hygiene questions, because everyone is doing something about it. But unfortunately, what they're doing something about it now becomes obsolete tomorrow. But it is still the buzzword, and it is still impacting the way we interact, engage with customers. So, and I'll just go across the panel here. In terms of how is AI impacting your business and your industry? This mic is not on.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. AI is basically helping us improving on our productivity more than anything else. Knowing consumer better is the most important thing in any of the businesses. So unless you know your consumer well, AI can only help so much. So, and obviously AI is going to improve day by day, and the only thing which is what we need to put more emphasis on is how well we know our consumer. And if we know our consumer well, AI will help exponentially. So in our set of business, and I'm only specifically talking about PVR Inox here, AI can help suggest you your next movie. AI can help suggest you the kind of food that you're going to enjoy this time, or can also suggest you the quickest way to reach cinema. But these are the things which will only work if you have the data right. So getting your data right is the most important thing for AI to actually help exponentially for your business. I think that's my view.
Good morning, everyone. So I think AI is there since quite a long time, but ever since generative AI has come into the picture, it has entered into our lives big time. So it definitely helps our business in many ways, because into customer experience, it helps in defining your content in a very, very beautiful way, right? Otherwise, you have to depend on your agents, your team members to define the content, right? But AI can help you in a much better way to do that. And not only that, but like if I talk about e-commerce, it's really helping us a lot in various other aspects as well. It helps in us in generating the images for our products. It helps in recommendations. It helps in designs and a lot of aspects, right? If I talk about in our company or in our industry, mostly like all of the functions would be using AI to some or the other extent. So it's definitely there. It has entered into our lives, and it's going to definitely change a lot in the coming days. And the way it's evolving, it will involve lots of other use cases, things which we can use it for. Let's see how it goes in the coming years, and I'm sure there'll be a lot to come.
Krishna,
Sure,
Ankit?
sure. So, according to me, if I talk about the AI, then it is very beneficial for the other platforms like e-commerce and other industry. However, if I talk about for the healthcare, specifically for my company, so in the healthcare industry, AI is not much pretty well, right? Because we need the human intervention. We are dealing with the patient's life. We are dealing with the daily monitoring that how they are dealing with the health perspective. So AI is good, but not for the healthcare one.
Hi, morning. This is the worst and the best time of the day. First, I wanted to check we've got everyone's attention because first thing in the morning, people are normally into their phones. So, hi guys. My name is Rahul Tandon, and can I just have a little show of hands of how many guys are shopping on e-commerce right now? Yeah? So we are the guys who bring your shipments that you shop to your doorstep, right? A little about what we are, and I'll tell you about how AI plays an important role, or rather the key role in our business. So I represent Ecom Express. We've been in this logistics, e-commerce logistics space now for over a decade. And what we do, we pick up shipments from over close to 1 lakh touch points every day. We pick up close to 1.5 million shipments right now. And our trucks travel about close to 5 lakh kilometers a day, covering more than 95% of India's populace, which is also shopping on e-commerce. And we deliver those shipments every day in the quickest possible manner and making sure that we bring a smile to your doorstep. So that's what we are. Now, the whole thing is, where does AI come? So, actually, if you look at it, the whole part of e-commerce logistics is only technology, right? Right from the word go, which is identifying where and how to plan my network. There's a lot of data science that goes into it in terms of planning your hubs, your delivery stations, so that we optimize the network to bring the shipment in the quickest possible time. Because at the end of the day, as an e-commerce customer, what are you looking for? You're looking for an on-time delivery every time and an intact parcel. That's all. It's very simple. So AI is a most abused word, but technically it's a mix of AI, data sciences, machine learning to, one, identify how to build this network. Second, once we bring the shipment to your doorstep, the last mile, that's where a whole lot of data sciences and AI play a role. Because two things. One, we ship to the hinterland of India, and whether we like it or not, more than 30 to 40% of addresses are highly unstructured. What we try and do, and where we use AI and rather generative AI, is to try and decode, as this says, decode those so-called mumbo jumbo addresses, make sense out of that, take the shipment to the customer, and you'll be surprised, it's not just in the villages. People living in Ghaziabad would give me a pin code of Noida. How do I take that shipment there? So those are the kinds of things that we solve using a lot of NLP, generative AI, to try and first simplify addresses, second, design my network, and third, also study consumer behavior to be able to establish, A, what is the best time to deliver a shipment to you? What's your average return percentage, so that we also understand at times how to optimize our deliveries. So net, for us, technology, and more so AI and the new age technology, is just about what we do every day, right? It's not plain vanilla putting a shipment into a truck and taking it from point A to point B. There's a whole bunch of things that goes behind the scenes to make sure that every truck, every shipment is monitored, and if it gets delayed, we generate a repromise, we communicate that to you. So it's a part of our core DNA.
Hi everyone, good morning. I think most of the speakers have already spoken a lot about what is AI, how does it help in our journey, but maybe I would typically keep it to the industry that I come from, which is gaming. Typically gaming has a large scale customer base, and it cuts across various geography, it cuts across various segments, various cohorts, and how AI has typically improved or helped us is by ensuring that we are able to give prompt and timely resolutions, how our chatbots, our resolution engines, our data analysis engines, understanding our customer behavior, what kind of mood the customer needs to be replied on, differential moods of responses, etc., etc. So typically, if you see that AI has largely changed the map of the thinking process of customer experience, and it has really brought in a very nice balance between what can be really automated and made instant and what can be really looked at from a human element perspective, and which needs a human understanding and also needs a human intervention for giving resolution. So if AI is being balanced at the right way, at the right juncture, at every customer journey, I think it's one of the most powerful tool which has helped customer experience in our day-to-day life and has really helped us change landscape, the entire experience part of the business, and reaching out to customers on time, more promptly, more appropriately, in a more segmented way and in a more cohorted way. So that's how AI has really, really helped us in terms of bringing in a lot of efficiency, building a lot of ROIs around the business, and also putting in the right resourcing at the right time by ensuring that we're doing the right things at the right time. So that's how AI has really, really impacted our industry. Thank you.
Thanks, Ritu.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I'll stick to the industry that I come from. So I'm from Cashify. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of what Cashify is. Can I have show of hands?
Ask how many broken mobile
Okay.
I'll raise both my hands for this question.
Yeah. Okay, so, as you understand, we're in the business of buying back second-hand devices, and I don't know how many of you know that we actually sell refurbished devices also. Okay, thank you so much. So, the interaction points that we have with customers, there are a lot of interaction points. We're dealing with them directly through our employees, we're dealing with them through our marketplace partners and all. So where AI or different layers of data like ML also comes into picture for us is to kind of seamlessly interact at those points. So we for assessing a particular device, right? There's a lot of individual biasness which come into picture. So how we're using this data or these technologies is to kind of come at a common minimum point. We are creating technologies, which kind of eliminate the need of personal biasness, where we have technology which would assess, any particular device for you. We're putting in these technologies to arrive, at the collective pricing strategy. So what we are doing basically is collecting all the data and putting them into different customer segments so that we can address each of these customer segments accordingly. Thank you.
You take it and then I'll talk. Hi, good morning, everyone. So I think with regards to AI, we are still in a process where we're still evaluating where the point of inflection would really come in. Yes, there's no denying that AI has solved a lot of problems today. But we also want to see that because we are ourselves very, very customer obsessed, so there's a lot of checks and balances, systems, processes that are already in place to see, are we on the right path or not. At the same time, as we continue to explore our business, I think moving forward, and as AI also kind of grows, matures further, and gets to a stage where it's also able to capture the inflection points within the human behavior, because the most consistent thing about human behavior is that it's very, very inconsistent. Most of it would fall into a pattern. A lot of things would just be a varied nuance, which won't really settle into a pattern. So how does AI kind of help us capture that bit? That is what I think would be the real point where we would want to jump in and kind of take it forward from there. Thanks.
Thanks, Gaurav.
So I'm yet to complete, by the way. So I took it last because there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
My name is Vamshi, and I represent SmartPing, telco VAS provider. But the major difference here is all the panelists who are sitting here, they come from different specific domain, and we serve all these different domains, okay? And my perspective would be more from a product standpoint. What you see when we talk about AI, a lot of people talk about AI, we'll do this, we'll do that, but there are a lot of things which one don't understand when it comes to AI is what we are seeing is a tip of iceberg today, okay? And there's a lot which goes underneath the surface, actually speaking. And from a product standpoint, from an engineering standpoint, there is a ton of work which happens. All the leaders who are kind of talking about AI, yes, they're talking from a more customer touchpoint standpoint, but to enable that or to make it a success, I think a lot of work happens in the backgrounds, okay? From an engineering standpoint, from a product standpoint. We all have to take the cognizance of that fact. Now, with the advent of new tech, right, you call it Gen AI, you call it LLMs, you call it SLMs, whatever it is, there's an entire landscape which is actually transforming. Maybe for certain domains, it is happening at a very rapid pace, and for certain domains, it is happening a little slow. But obviously, as a couple of panelists already have mentioned, that we are at an inflection point, right, which is true. And this is gonna kind of continue for, it's something we call it, right, in Gartner also, they mentioned there's a hype cycle for everything. And sometimes for certain domains, that hype comes early, and certain domains wait out to see if that hype is real or not, so that they can adopt it and see the right or real ROI. And to do all this, there's a lot of tech which has to be applied. One thing which I can say is AI will obviously transform every business out there as we see it. But the important thing, what we look at or how we have to look at AI is also dependent on certain important elements. One major thing is where everybody will kind of definitely say yes for that is the data, which is the crux of it, right? If you don't have data, you might have a fantastic model, but still you will struggle to achieve the benefit of that model. So we all have to understand that AI plays a crucial role, no doubt, but the ingesting of data is an important aspect when it comes to tech and convert it into something what you're seeing as an action or the output of AI. So there's no doubt it's a cohesive echo from everyone here. AI will transform things. AI will do a lot of magic in the days to come, in a good way as well as in a very bad way also. So we all have to brace ourselves for the positives of AI, at the same time the negatives of AI. So be thoughtful, be careful, be mindful when you're applying AI. You might be thinking that you're applying AI for the benefit of your business, but it might also backfire. So please be very mindful about the fact that we have to tread it in a careful way so that we kind of get the best out of AI and not kind of seeing the darker side of the AI, right? So that's my take on AI, man. Thank you.
So Vamshi, and I understand why you took this last, because you beautifully summarized the bigger picture in terms of where AI is headed. So thanks a lot for that, Vamshi. So the timer tells me that we have 27 minutes remaining. So we are going to, unfortunately for everybody on the panel here, so I've taken notes. So the questions have changed. So please bear with me. So there is some problem with this mic. Yeah. So you are in the movie going business, right? And you have also been pioneering certain loyalty programs. And there is this entire thing also around how do you personalize certain offerings based on the data you have. In fact, one recent example in the fintech space, I'm sure you've caught the news. RBI clamped down on one of the co-branded credit cards recently because they were not very compliant on the use of customer data. Now, and you're also in this business, if I'm not wrong, right, Vikram? So how are you really tackling this issue? One, from the perspective of delivering better experience through your loyalty programs, and how are you really leveraging that customer data, especially since you have a co-branded credit card as well?
Okay, let me first answer the second question. And I don't know, most of the people may or may not know this, but PVR Inox has a co-brand credit card with Kotak Bank, and it's a beautiful card. Why? Because of a simple fact that you have straightforward discounts when you visit movie or you want to dine in. The second is it's a brilliant loyalty program. Why? Because of a simple fact that we've started this card 3.5, 4 years back, and we already have about 4.5 lakh consumers on it.
Second largest.
It is the second largest co-brand credit card and largest in entertainment industry. So the benefits are humongous because A, the consumer is hooked onto your brand because you are getting direct benefits. B, they like to spend on this card because it is rewarding. Every 10,000 you spend, you get a free ticket. So virtually your movies are always free for you and for the family in case you are spending about 42,000 rupees. You get 4 tickets in a month. So loyalty in a way kicks in. Plus we also get to know what kind of spends, what category of spends, is there something that we can pitch them, and what kind of lifestyle this consumer has. And based on those studies, we actually market them our products. So this is really helpful, and the consumer stickiness is much, much higher.
Thanks. Krishna, coming to you, Urbanic as a fashion brand, I think has really made a lot of inroads in Indian market. And when you kind of look at the entire experience with respect to fashion, it's always evolving. Something that's there today is going out tomorrow. So basically my question is around the fact that I recently read that you're focusing a lot on inclusivity now as a brand. And now when you look at that and also the changing... Yeah, please, thank you. And also the changing customer behavior and the evolving landscape, what is the North Star for you when it comes to customer experience?
Right. So if I talk about one point which is very important for us is the agility, right? So because it's ever changing, it's fast fashion that we are into. It evolves very fast. So we have to be very agile in terms of bringing the new styles or designs. So as an organization, we are a tech company, right? We are not a product company as such. We are a tech company. So we use a lot of technology, AI into all the aspects, right? So if I talk about technology, we have built our own system, tools where we can fasten our designs, right? So because you cannot stick with same designs ever, so you'll have to move your shelves very fast. So that way we use a lot of technology to make it faster. And along with that, like our dedicated team of designers, they are also doing lots of research to keep up with the latest fashions, trends and everything, so that they can easily switch the designs or styles which are up in the market, which are trending, and bring those on the shelf as well.
So you're personalizing based on that customer information that you have.
Yeah. So that as well. Like we also do a lot of. We have our communities, right? Community of users, community of influencers. So we get a lot of information, data, insights from them as well, suggestions from them as well. What's trending, what's not trending, and everything. So that also plays a very important role when we have to bring on or keep up with the evolving fashion. Along with that, we do a lot of data research. Our data is there, so like we analyze our sales, our patterns, which patterns are moving fast, which are not moving fast, where we have high returns, or so that way we can analyze it in a better way, and we know that okay, these styles are not working, these styles are working, and according to that we can switch to new styles as well, because something which users are preferring more. So that also helps.
Understood.
And then the community I talked about, like, so we talk to a lot of users directly, one-to-one, understand about their requirements, their needs. We have a very big community of influencers And we know that influencers plays a
Since
very
you bring up
important
the
role.
point of influencers, I actually will have a separate question for you, Varun.
Yeah, sure.
So, but let's move on. Thanks, Krishna. So we'll just be mindful of the time and
Sure,
hence,
sure.
yeah. So Ankit, Beto, I mean, I think you guys have made a name. 3 million customers, diabetics care. But I saw something very interesting, which is, and I don't know how many of you know, but when it comes to diabetics care, there is a huge queue against women in terms of how quickly they get into diabetes care. So I think the study which was published was around 34% of women get into diabetics care on time. Now, the question to you is, the function of you acquiring more women users also a function of your experience you deliver.
Yeah.
How are you treating women customers differently for a better customer experience to bridge that gap and make it 50-50?
Sure. So if I talk about that particular number that you're talking about that we publish in the and medical industry. So first wanted to tell everyone that we are living 103 million people who are living with the diabetes in the India. And this study is published by the IDA, Indian Diabetes Association. However, we are very well aware that the 35% how the women are diabetic with very pre-cured, because when if I talk about the females, if they are getting pregnant, then they are doing the HbA1c test suggested by the doctors. So that's why they are very well informed by the doctors, and the patients are also well aware that yes, is there any heredity, is there any type 2, type 1 category. And now coming on your question that how we are curing that female candidate. So we have a very specific team of female doctors and female coaches. And we have 24/7 WhatsApp chat support, wherein particular female candidates, female patients basically, they can coordinate with their respective coach, because they are very open with the sharing that what kind of issues that they are facing related to the health. So we have the separate category of the female coaches and the female doctors. So that's why we are, providing the resolutions on day by day.
Thanks a lot, Ankit, for that. And Rahul, would it be right to say you are in the smile business?
Yes, we're in the business of delivering smiles.
Business of delivering smiles. So, e-commerce as a segment, it's really growing. We're going into tier 2. We're going into the Bharat now.
Tier 5 and 6.
Huh?
Tier 5 and 6 as well.
Tier 5 and 6, yes. So we're going very interior into. In fact, I recently read some D2C brand delivered a mattress all the way to the other end of Arunachal Pradesh. So, this very constantly evolving landscape, customer expectations are only going higher. They tend to get very angry when things don't arrive on time. And like you said, you're in the business of delivering smiles. So many moving parts. You already spoke through about how you're leveraging AI. But what is that one thing which is holding this together at Ecom Express in delivering the consistent customer experience across the board? And Ecom Express is known to be very on time, very diligent. So what is working for you?
Okay, so let me take this in a little simplistic manner, though it's a very complex operation. So see, every time I pick up a shipment from any doorstep, I am expected to deliver that shipment in a finite time, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, right? So which means that shipment gets tagged to a promise date, which is a customer promise date. In the entire journey of that shipment from its origin to your doorstep, it undergoes multiple handshakes across various facilities, travels in trucks, in cycles, could also come on foot to you, right? But the key is all of this is monitored by, I would want to call it a control tower, or let's say for a lot of people who are from the telco background, what used to be called the NOC. So every shipment, every minute, every second is tracked and traced by this central unit, which actually makes sure that the shipment journey at any point is meeting its desired STA and STD, which is standard time of arrival and standard time of departure. And if there are any blips around the way which can cause any impact on the promise date to you, I do two things. One, I try and rescue, which is try and prioritize it in the chain. Or two, if I can't rescue, I re-promise it to you so that your expectations are managed, right? So it's as simple in terms of explaining it, but when you have over 1.5 million shipments traversing across 25,000 pin codes every day, it's not so easy. It's basically developing intelligent algorithms which at every time of the day are sending out red alerts to my teams on which shipment is moving in the right manner, which shipment needs a prioritization, a rescue, which customer needs a repromise, and how, right? So all of this is how we try and solve and make sure that we deliver more than 98% of shipments to you on time.
And that is a very, very high percentage in your industry.
Yes, it is.
Ritu, moving on to you, right? I caught on a few things that you mentioned in the opening question. You spoke about service and how you're leveraging AI. Gaming as an industry, right? I think we're delivering experiences across the country in a mobile format or in a digital format. Everyone has a different opinion of what's good for them, what's bad for them. In your industry, how do you really differentiate yourself from other players with customer experience being that hook? So what are the levers that you kind of really push to differentiate yourself?
Whenever you deal with 100 million plus user base on a day-on-day basis, to answer these questions become a little tough. But I'll definitely make a very sincere attempt to talk about what we do to live up to the expectations. There are primary cohorts. There are many cohorts that we work on, and we work on diligently day in and day out. But there are certain things that we really don't leave out on any single day. Is like ensuring that when a customer ultimately reaches our touch point for any kind of an experience-related issue, we definitely go back and promptly answer, and we have real steep SLAs to answer, because understand, it's an in-purchase
and
element.
there is money involved here, so people are sensitive.
It's an in-purchase element, so if you've invested money and if you don't get the expected service, and that also within a jiffy, it becomes difficult. So that's one of the things which we believe in and which we drive at the support center. Then what we look at is that because of the diversity of the entire business, a lot of data analysis engine, a lot of inciting engine works behind every time, round the clock, which you could call AI, you could call it ML, you could call it LLP. There are a lot of other models which runs, which helps us understand the customer moves basically. Whether our customer is really liking our in-app experiences, whether the customer is not liking it, what is my next move, what is my next call to that customer, what is the kind of recommendation engine I'm going to give to my customer, what is the kind of personalization I'm going to be doing to my customer. So that's another thing which we always keep in mind. What we do very diligently is to try and keep a UI and an UX which is very simple, very self-guided, and always contextual. So this is something which we always keep in mind. Last but not the least, I would say that we hear to our customers a lot. There are continuous surveys, feedbacks taken in each customer journeys, key journeys, which we call it, if you really have to put it into a matrix, we call it NPS, we call it the customer effort score, we call it the CSAT. But ultimately, what we manage there is customer expectations. So in this industry, time to resolution, time to response becomes very, very critical. Apart from that, whenever a player comes to a platform, invests money and wants to play there, really wants a platform which is secure, safe, fraud-free. So we do a lot of nudges, we do a lot of proactive information to our customers. There's a lot of infrastructure which is already built, which continuously goes and nudges the customer how to play safely. What are the responsible elements you need to take care of? So this is another very, very important element that we really look at, so that ultimately what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to create a trustworthy environment in the online real money space, and that's what we believe in, and that's what we do day in and day out.
Thanks Ritu. And on a lighter note, Anil Kapoor is your brand ambassador, right? Yes. So has that raised expectations, considering he doesn't seem to be getting any older? And
so we've seen Ajay Devgan also before this. So we're seeing Anil Kapoor right now. So they are all typically brand ambassadors because they really correlate with that particular game. So if you see Anil Kapoor is with poker, and Ajay Devgan was with Rummy. So when you really see Anil Kapoor, you see his chirpiness of poker, and when you see Rummy, you really see the skill that you put there in Rummy. So that's how, whether it raises expectations or not, definitely it does, because we see our social media interactions going up. We see people really applauding Anil Kapoor. We see people really coming onto the platform more. So if I really have to look at some of the statistics, yet it does help.
Yeah. Moving on from Anil Kapoor, we come to Rajkumar Rao now. So, so Rajkumar Rao is the brand ambassador for Cashify, incidentally. The question is not around Rajkumar Rao. Okay, you can thank yourself for that.
Happy to answer that as well.
So Cashify, you've recently got into also selling devices, and you have also created a brand around it, which was not very evident previously. Now, used phones is a tricky business, right? There are quite a few things which are hard to prove, which could just be software related, not hardware related. So there are so many variables, right? How do you really deliver consistency in the experience of somebody picking up a phone from you?
Okay.
Or a smartwatch, or even laptops, like you mentioned?
So you very rightly put that, when we're dealing with refurbished smart devices, there are a lot of variables that can go wrong at any point of time. And more so when we have different points of interaction with customers. So, we are selling devices through our online channel. We have our online distribution. So we have 200 stores, spread across India through which we are selling these devices. Not only this, we have an offline distribution channel also, who are kind of selling these devices for us. So, although we have a state-of-art facility, where we're refurbishing them, we have put an AI ML into picture where we are reducing the manual interaction with these devices for assessing the fault. So, for example, we have a robotic arm, right, which assesses the device. You would not find any individual doing this. We have built an ML program which would assess a device into its physical appearance and would assess, how good this particular device is. And then we have a, in-house patented app which diagnoses the functional capability of the device and tells us how good this device is. And we have a grading system which, by the way, has now become industry benchmark. So when you see other partners coming into the same segment, Cashify is a benchmark for them. They kind of replicate our grading system, our processes. In fact, some of them have replicated our website also. So when you go to their website, you would not find any difference instead of a name.
Flattery is the best form of compliment,
yeah,
right?
It is. And it's not India only. So there are people outside India who have replicated Cashify business model, same website. In fact, at times the banners are also same. So coming back to your question, right? How do we ensure that we are delivering the quality? So other than the state-of-art facility that we have, what we are ensuring is that we have a quick listening mechanism. So we are very good at social listening. We're very good at customer support. So in case someone comes back to us and, and they're facing any challenge with the device, 15-20 days, we are offering them no question asked return policy, for example, because we understand. So if in case you bought a device, and you've put in efforts to upload your phone book and install your apps and log into them, until unless you're genuinely facing an issue, you would not bother to come back to us, right? Respecting that customer sentiment, we offer them free replacement, repair, and we have a good warranty system, which is again industry benchmark. So we tell customers, whenever we're selling a refurbished device, although you're contributing to the total environment, you're contributing to the recycle movement, but we stand behind them, and that's an assurance that we give them. Just in case anything wrong happens to you, we're there and we'll support you in every way we can. We have online, pickup services. We have stores across India. You can just walk in, show your invoice, and then get things done. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Apurva. Thank you. Vamshi, so you primarily work with other businesses in terms of delivering the message, right time, right place, right context. How have you seen businesses that work with you kind of change their perspectives in terms of using your service and delivering what they've committed?
I think, see, the primary...
And you could possibly just take half a minute to explain what SmartPing does.
First I'll talk about SmartPing a bit. SmartPing is into telco and VAS, okay, where we do a lot of messaging service, voice services, and all other value-add services. Okay, it can be marketing, it can be digital marketing, whichever is digital, importantly. It's not logistical, it is not physical or anything. And it's more into the digital transformation segment, what we operate, be it on the telco side or be it on the non-telco side, right? So we have customers across the board. And we are pioneers in what we do. That's the business messaging or communications, you would say. And we've been in this business for a good long time. And we have seen how the industry has changed, how it has evolved, how it has transformed. So we know a lot of nuances, and SmartPing has been kind of working with a lot of fantastic brands, right? Hundreds and thousands of brands, no doubt about it. And we've been one of the critical partners for all these brands to transform their experiences with their customers. So that's the whole term, customer experience, right? So we do customer experience, customer support, customer management, engagement management, a lot of things. Now, coming back to how we kind of create an impact, so importantly, the whole customer experience is driven on different pillars, okay? And communication is one very critical pillar for the success or to deliver this so-called customer experience, right? You have different tools, you have different systems, processes, technologies, but the domain or the segment what we operate, which is more on the communication side, I think every leader here will understand the importance of communication. You might want to kind of deliver the product on time, but you don't send him a message, like from a logistics standpoint. I'm just taking Varun's segment, okay? You don't send him a message, he'll be like traumatized these days. I mean, just waiting for my mobile phone, and I know that it may come. I have to look at my status in the laptop or in the phone. But if a message comes saying that, hey, the delivery guy is about to deliver, that's the right delight, or that's the delight which these guys want to see on the face of the customer. So that can happen only through us, right? So I think communication plays a vital role in the segment what we operate for all these domains, what we are having here. At the same time, how we can improve that segment, how we can kind of deal with it is also an important thing. So today we do a lot of groundwork on trying to kind of make it more experiential for the customers. So a lot of tech has already come in, and we are trying to adopt the latest and meanest tech. So it can be from the legacy days, right? SMS has been there for a long time, but now with the advent of WhatsApps coming into picture, RCS coming into picture, communication has become more not like a monologue, single-sided, but it's like a two-way communication, which is more defining your so-called customer experience. And I think it is going to transform in the days to come, I would say. In the interest of time, I
totally hear you, Vamshi, and thanks
much
for sharing that perspective. I think we'll come back after this session just to understand how customers are asking different questions now with this evolving landscape. Varun, again, thanks a lot. I know it was a bit of a rush for you. LimeRoad has been around for a while, and you got acquired by VMart also a couple of years back. And we know VMart operates in a very different segment. LimeRoad, of course, in a different segment. I also interestingly read that your CFO kind of announced that you will be operationally profitable in 1 year's time.
Yeah.
Now, any e-commerce player or a startup, right? The journey towards profitability is filled with a lot of potholes. And one of those bigger potholes is the customer experience.
Yeah.
How do you see your job really cut out in the next 1 year as you really go towards this path to profitability, ensuring your customers stick with you?
Oh, I think that's an excellent question, because this is exactly where we're focused on right now. Like what you mentioned, we play in technically different segments. VMart being a large value player, and LimeRoad primarily finding its niche in the e-commerce space in the masstige segment, right? Not really going premium, but aren't going value either. But at the same time, as the consumers merge, right? 17 million base of LimeRoad, 33 million base of VMart, We've gone back and studied a lot of data. We've understood a lot of things. I have been fortunate to be at the crux of both because I've also built the omnichannel setup. So I am also working on bringing these value seekers onto the Masteach platform, show them VMart, see if they are also interested in other products, and build a lot of intelligence from there. So in terms of customer obsession, the fundamental changes that we brought at LimeRoad are, one is that we're no longer working as separate cohorts. Like engineering works separately, they are building a tool because business has raised a requirement, right? Supply chain comes in and says, okay, our job is to make sure RTOs are low, deliveries are happening, last mile connects are great, first miles are on time. Everybody has been working in their own cohorts. We've made a fundamental shift to a cross-functional setup. So for instance, if I take, say, the omni-channel setup, where I cannot deliver the right customer service if I'm just conceiving myself and asking everybody to do their work. Now, there are functional leaders coming in from engineering, from supply chain, from customer service, from business side, everybody getting together, pooling in the energies, pouring over data, iterating, reiterating, and then coming up with the right approach forward. So that's one. At the same time, velocity has become a key mantra of late. We come up with 20 different iterations that we might want to run them. Now, we can't wait for 20 weeks or say 20 months to see if it all pans out. So what we end up doing is we first iterate on what are the most likely options to give out the results from these 20. We'll run our A/B testing in smaller batches to see how much we can expand. Run it for a few days, map it to the initial trends that we've always seen with our prior experiments, and then decide whether to scale this up or to try something else, right? So that's giving us a lot of smart understanding on that as well. So primarily these, because if we don't have these right, we can't be customer focused, and if you're not customer focused, we can't really hope to reactivate the lapsed users, retain the new users or the active users, and acquire a lot more, right? And that is the path to profitability, in a sense.
Thanks a lot, Varun. I would have wanted to ask you one more question, but I'll keep it for after this
Sure.
discussion. Now the screen is all red there. It says time's up. But I want to definitely take one more minute with your permission. Yeah. This year, 2024, and I'll just go around this, and I want a single word answer for this one, considering the red screen there. In your organization, when it comes to customer experience, what's going to be the biggest investment area? And that investment could be human resource, could be money, could be technology. But in one word, what's going to be the biggest investment area for you?
Technology.
Research.
Doctors and internal medicine business.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Secure, interactive communication at the last mile.
It's going to be technology.
So this year, technology it is for us.
For all of these guys, it should be intelligent automation, I would say.
For us, it's more and more data.
Wonderful. So barring one, everything is around technology. So that kind of sums up where customer experience is headed. I don't think we can live without technology or otherwise compromise. So I hope I'm still audible, but we can kind of
Yeah.
it now. So yes, so clearly it's a great way to set the stage for the entire course of the day. It's going to be all technology when it comes to customer experience, and I do understand your set of your business as well, Ankit. So yes, enabling doctors through technology would be the right way to go. So uniformly we have technology at the core, and with that I would want to give it back to you. Thanks a lot for being such a lovely panelist. I learned a lot of things. I've taken notes. I'll probably put this onto my notebook on the laptop, refer to it. Superb interacting with all of you. And when I started this panel on a funny note, right? So I was really praying to myself that I remember everybody's names. But with such an august panel here, and I'm not being very flattering, but with such a panel, it's hard to forget each one of you and the interaction we've had. It's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot for being such a lovely panelists for me and for you guys for being